he was asked about the economy and what his solutions for the economic problems were, he said that he wasn't yet prepared to answer that, and that he had to think about those economic issues. And 1 week later, Obama laid out his economic policies. Now, I know something about economics. That's our game. And I know that he knows much more about how the economy works than Obama knows. And so the difference between them, I think, is one person is a straight talker, says, I don't know, at the time, and another person is not a straight talker. So, I don't know if you know, but something like 10 years ago, he picked 2 words to basically be his representation of what he stood for and what his politics stand for. Does anybody know what those 2 words are?
Straight talk.
Straight talk. Straight talk. I mean, that summarizes the man. So, John McCain is the only politician I know who will tell you exactly what he thinks. To me, that's unbelievably huge. He's also the only politician that I know who was guided more by his own beliefs of right and wrong, and he's got a fantastic beacon about that, his own beliefs of right and wrong than party affiliation. He's fought Republicans as well as Democrats to do the things that he thinks is right. And I have never actively supported a candidate before in my life. But this man, because of his definition of really what politics is about, how government should be about, is the man that I chose to support. He is, in my opinion, the only person, because he goes across party lines, because he will do the things that he believes are right, because he's so principled, he's the only person that I know who could be president of the United States as a whole, as distinct from representative of one constituency in a war against the other constituencies. So he's a great man. I want to shut up and turn this meeting over to him. Just a couple of things in terms of the format. They know me. We're going to. He will say a few words. We're going to ask 4 particular questions, and then we're going to turn it over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ray, for that brief introduction. I thank you. But I want to tell you, it's far nicer than the one I got at our Scottsdale Rotary Club not long ago. The guy said, here's the latest dope from Washington, Senator John McCain. So thank you, Ray. And, you know, you're not always well greeted or well introduced. I was over in California with Governor Schwarzenegger not long ago. I know that you all know Governor Schwarzenegger. He and I have many similar attributes, and I was in California with him, and I walked by, and there's this great big guy, but there's always protesters, great big guy with a sign. He said, hey, anybody ever tell you look a lot like Senator John McCain? I said, yeah. And he said, doesn't it just make you mad as heck? So thank you, Ray, for yours. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. I apologize for that, and I also always want to thank my friend Chris Shays, who is a dear friend. My friends, this is the town hall meeting. This is important me to hear from you. As Chris said, I think it's the true expression of democracy, the true expression of interchange and interface between the candidate and the constituents. And that's why I'll try to speak as briefly as possible so that I can respond to your questions and questions from the audience here. And I see so many young faces. I am encouraged and enthused because, frankly, you're the reason why I'm running for President of the United States. And so I'm honored you're here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to chat with you about several issues, and I'd like to begin by talking, obviously, about the economy. And I think that it's important that we have this national debate. I think we understand, all of us, and should appreciate that American families today, as we're standing here, are sitting around the kitchen table trying to figure out whether they have to take another job, whether they're going to lose their home, or whether their future is going to be one that they can provide a better life for their children, which has been the legacy of every generation of Americans. And these are tough times. And so we're going to have to come up with a lot of answers and a lot of solutions. Not all of them are big government solutions, but they certainly are trying to not only repair the damage, ensure the future, but also take measures that will restore confidence in the American people in their future. And I'd like to begin by saying I have great confidence in the future of the economy of the United States of America, despite the enormous challenges we face today. I think the fundamentals are strong. We're still the greatest exporter, the greatest importer, the greatest innovator, the strongest militarily, the strongest economy in the world, and again, I emphasize greatest innovator. So I have a great deal of long-term optimism. And whenever there's a technological breakthrough in this world, it usually is originated in the United States of America. Obviously, we have to fix our education system in America to provide the qualified workforce. We need an immigration reform plan proposal that will allow highly skilled workers who may go to school here to remain and work here. There's a need for that, as we all know. There's a number of long-term issues that we need to face. In the short term, I don't think there's any doubt that the worst thing we can do is raise your taxes right now. I do not believe that that's the right answer. I don't think we should double the capital gains tax. I believe that we should make the tax cuts permanent. I believe that we should all appreciate that the highest corporate taxes in the world are the second highest corporate taxes, behind Japan, is corporate taxes, and we should reduce them from 35 to 25%. But I also want to tell you that traveling around this country, we also have, and there's many things that we need to do, and we'll be glad to talk about them in our discussion. But one of the things I think that we ought to do, and I've seen this around America, particularly in the heartland, there are displaced workers. There are people who thought that they had lifetime jobs and have seen that job go overseas. There are people who had the education and training for that job and now have the education and training for no other. And they find themselves with